The huge chunks of rock at the base of the cliff were due to an event that happened in 1907. Huge chunks of rock came away from the cliff face into the road, shutting off the gorge for many, many weeks. We just fly over. Rock at the base of the cliff were due to an event that happened in 1907. Huge chunks of rock came away from the cliff face into the road, shutting off the gorge for many, many weeks. The next cliff face around the corner on your right hand side is known as Priest Rock. And Priest Rock is home to our peregrine falcons. They nest about 3/4 of the way up this cliff face. They're the fastest animals in the world, reaching speeds of up to 250 miles an hour while known for their prey. They're very impressive creatures. We're hoping for some good news soon about their young. They should have hatched earlier this week, but we still haven't heard anything yet. Last year they gave birth to 3 young, so we're hoping for a similar story this year. As we work our way through the narrows, the thinnest and steepest part of the gorge and the hardest for the driver to navigate, and which will eventually swing round to the pinnacles. The pinnacles being the highest in Lancashire, Britain, around 460 foot above road level. What gave Tolkien the inspiration for Helm's Deep and his Lord of the Rings saga. For those of you that go on the gorge walk, you'll be walking along the tops of the cliff tops there with some spectacular views of the top. But none quite as good as the top as you're currently sat on. The right hand side of the gorge is part of the long estate owned by Lord Burr, whereas the left hand side is owned by the National Trust. Don't know, it's the National Trust around 90 years ago by Lord Burr, obviously keeping the better side for himself, the bit that makes all the money. Sport is very popular throughout the gorge. We have various different climbing that goes on. We have around 200 different sports climbs throughout the gorge, stretching onto 1,000 extensive traditional climbs. As well as climbing, we also have caving. There's around 50 different caves in the gorge, stretching onto 80 in the surrounding area. And we hold various different sporting events, including cycling and climbing festivals. As we swing round to start our descent back down towards Cobb's Cave in a sec. So working our way down, conservation is very important in the local area. Various conservation projects do take place. We have our Sowie sheep and primitive goats that graze in our grass areas, grassland, and keep it nice and short for us. As well as that, we also have our water voles, our peregrine falcons, dormice projects on our conservated lands above, and we also have our bats. We have around 12 species of bats on site, 2 of them being known as the lesser horseshoe and greater horseshoe bats. Lesser horseshoe bats can be found in the diamond chamber of Goff's Cave, and there's around 80 to 100 in there. Whereas the greater horseshoe bat can be found in Goff's Old Cave, there's around 650 greater horseshoe bats in there, which make up about 10% of Britain's population. Hence the reason we are a triple SI site, a site of special scientific interest, an area of outstanding natural beauty, an area of specialised conservation. We also have 7 ancient monuments on site as we work our way back round to Priest Rock. Priest Rock has a little story behind the naming and it dates back to Saxon times, when a guy called King Edmund was hunting on top of the cliffs here one day, and all of a sudden his 3 horsemen disappeared. He wondered where they had got to. At that point in time he got kicked off his horse and landed inches from the cliff face above. He thanked the Lord that day that he was safe. Unfortunately for his 3 horsemen they didn't survive, but he got a local priest from the town of Glastonbury that was soon to be exiled front, and he came over in front. That priest later on became the Archbishop of Canterbury, after slowly working his way up through the ranks and getting on the good side of the royals. Technically, it used to be a character that house here, so that's why he became the Archbishop. If he never came here, he would have been exiled front and never seen death. So we'll work our way around to High Rock now. High Rock is one of the sheerest cliff faces in the gorge, approximately 420 foot in total. But the bit we're interested in is the huge crack that you'll see in a second that stretches from bottom to top. It was first climbed in the 1960s by a guy called Chris Pollington. He climbed it in a televised stunt, and 4 to 6 hours of grueling climbing later, he then had the privilege of naming this climb, and he actually named the climb Coronation Street, because according to him, that climb there just went on and on and on. So on your right again, you've got lands of quarries. We slowly start working our way around Cooper's Hole now. Cooper's Hole was graced by the presence of Time Team in 1999, and they were trying to look for something along the lines of Cheddar. Unfortunately, didn't really find a lot in here. A couple of broken bones, and that was really about it. But what they found was quite special enough down here on the left. Opposite that, on the right hand side, you'll see Friar Evansville. Was lived in around 200 years ago by a local shepherd. That local shepherd used to go browsing the lands looking for lost sheep. They couldn't find lost sheep on the local area. They went onto farmers' woods and nicked their sheep and then tried to sell it back to them to make themselves some money. Just in front of us is the climbing wall. We also have adventure caving on site. An extra 4 chambers situated at the back of the loft to explore. One of those chambers is known as the Boulder Chamber, where a guy called David Lafferty actually spent 130 days to try and beat the underground world endurance record. Unfortunately for him, 3 days later, the French came and beat his record, but he still holds the British record to this day. For those of you that haven't been in Goscavia, you'll be given an audio guide. It takes around 45 or so minutes to get around the show. What will take you 15 minutes to reach the back actually took Richard about 8 years, so do take your time. Spectacular formations, some stretching back to over 250,000 years old. If you've got any questions while you're here today, Cheddar, do feel free to ask anyone in the blue uniform. I hope you've learned something on the tour today. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day in Cheddar, and thank you for listening.
What's it like,